so I face the final curtain. How does it sound? My friend, I'll say it clear, I'll state my case, of which I'm certain. I've lived and I've had full. I travel each and every highway and more, much more than this. I did it my way. Regrets, I have a few, but then again, too few to mention. How am I going? Yeah?
Well.
Hey, what I had to do, sorry, it's finishing soon, and saw it through without exemption. I planned each charted course, each careful step along the byway and more, much more than this. I did it my way. Yes, there was times. We're just waiting for people to see it, you know, like, so if you want to take a seat or enjoy the karaoke, more than I lost that, look at you. But, you know, and there was the, okay, wait. I added it up, okay, and speed it out. I face it, okay, I lost the track, let me back.
So, once again, for everyone also outside, we're about to start here. It's gonna be a very interesting topic, so I'm kindly inviting everyone to get in.
And I second everything he said. If you want to save money, you are in the right place.
So, saving money is a very interesting
Very
topic.
interesting topic for everyone, right?
But they still don't give a damn it.
Yeah, they're still you can't get them out of the coffee break. That's how it normally works.
Yeah. So I will just go there and make a final
It's
call.
this one. It's 3. You have it. No problem if you want to leave. Fair enough.
You make maybe it's like a final call in that whole day.
And then at the end,
They're not coming out of the breaks, huh?
it's okay. I can start anyway. If you guys are interested. Otherwise, we can talk about the weather, about living in Germany, which is. Do you live in Germany? You don't live in Germany. Do you live in Germany? But you're German? So, give us your honest opinion. Did you live anywhere else?
I used to live in Rome. You're
Woo! I like it.
It was much better than in Berlin.
Much better, yes, an Italian. It was much better than living in
The
Berlin.
big problem in Italy was I was getting 10 kilos more because
Yeah, of course.
of the food.
And you didn't live with your mama, which is a better thing. Because if you live with your mama, it's even harder. Past your 30s, like
Yeah, the thing is, I was living with a family there, so I was moving.
Oh, that's why.
To my girlfriend,
Uh-huh.
and she used to live in the same house like the rest of the family, so there was mama, and she was cooking a lot. And
I
she
know.
was cooking great.
And the thing is that we don't understand the one dish per meal. So it's not a thing that we have, right? Like in Germany, where I live in Poland, right? And the idea of you just sit for dinner and just eat, I don't know, like one plate of pasta or whatever, and then, you know, and that's it. Then needs to be the first dish, and then there needs to be like, you know, some prosciutto, some grissini, and some this and some that, and then you need to like, I don't even know how they do it anymore. I haven't lived in Italy for 27 years, and I can tell you that I don't, you know, I eat a salad in the evening, and that's all for me. So it's a terrible thing. If you're interested, I can start. Let's see. Anyway,
Okay, so
Yeah.
then just maybe try a final call. Extremely loud, so
Nah. it's
maybe
okay.
we can get some attention here. So once again, for everyone also outside, I am inviting you all guys for a very interesting topic, how to get better deals out of your vendors. And for that we will have a founder of Magic Partner, Pietro Faccio. So please
Nicely said.
join me welcoming the gentleman.
Okay, so what if we do it without a microphone? Yeah?
I mean, since you are just a closed group, so you can
Exactly.
definitely go and do it. You just
Yeah.
need, maybe you can just let it on, and if you gonna need it, you can use it.
Okay, fair enough.
So,
So I will skip you because I covered this part. This is me. So I am the founder of Magic Partner. In this company, we are trying to help developers and publishers and whoever need a new vendor to find a new vendor. So help you through actually doing it for you, the whole selection process of, let's say, localization, QA. We can talk about player support. We can talk about code development. And we help you do the selection because I've been working for a service provider for more than 20 years. So the one thing that I noticed, the one common thing is that no one in the video game industry knows how to get the best deal out of a new vendor. None of you has the best deal because you just don't know how to negotiate. And so I thought, this is what I want to do because I think that I know it and I can help you. So the idea is I make you save money, right? I do the process for you so you don't need to become crazy, and I also make you save money. In theory, is a win-win situation. That's me. Fuck me. Who cares? So starting with price. I want to start with price because it's the most important thing. I don't know, like, what do you think? I'm gonna ask you. So raise your hand. There's three of you. The three questions are: do you think that price is the most important thing, or is very important, somehow important, so somewhat important or not important? What do you think it is? Price in the selection of a new vendor for you. Is that the most important thing, is important but not that much, or not important at all?
It's one criteria of a lot of criteria. So you can't just take the price and
Okay.
decide on which vendor to choose.
So you wouldn't say it's the most important thing.
No.
Yeah.
It's somehow important.
It's somewhat important, right?
Yeah, because
Yeah.
if I put myself into the mind that that is so important, which if I am poor, I'm broken, and I don't want to put myself in that case.
Yeah. Yeah, it's when I ask this question, no one says it's not important, right? Because of course it's important. And also in the life that we live, which is, like I don't know if you heard about layoffs in this industry, maybe you heard about it, right? Everyone now is trying to save money everywhere they can. So the actual the significance, the importance of price, it's from mostly people say between somewhat important and very important, or the most important thing. I want to save money, of course, and actually it's a good point because it's never I don't know if you ever attended any sales course. In every sales course, one of the things they teach is like it's never about price. It's always about something else. Well, maybe in the 80s, maybe, but nowadays it's really different. It is important. I want to say something. It's relevant that you pay that you know that. So also because in the last say 20 years, QA has really the QA quality. So the quality of the testing or localization mostly, but for example, when we're talking about QA, has leveled up, and the services in general, they really have leveled up. I remember 20 years ago, well, let's say even just 15 years ago, there was a huge difference from company. Is that okay with the voice, or should I use the microphone?
It's fine.
It's fine? Yeah. So 20 years ago, it was like that. You go to the company that was like the most expensive, and the company was the cheapest one, and the difference in services we're offering was huge, right? And I've seen it all. I work with companies that were shit, and I work with companies that were very good, and the difference was there. Nowadays, I think we lost that edge. Really, it's really, you can go to companies that are out of God knows where in Europe, or in Asia, and they can give you really a good quality of service, even though the price wouldn't suggest that, right? So that, and if you're not familiar with the Van Westerdorp sensitivity price meter, it's actually, I think I have, oh yeah, actually, it's that. So this is Dutchman that came up with this idea. Every time you need to think of a service, every time you need to think of buying something, you need to ask yourself these 4 questions. What is the price that's just too expensive and fuck you, I don't want to talk to you? What is the cheapest one you think, oh, this is gonna, for sure, gonna put at risk my business? And then the 2 in the mid, you know, what is the one that I think this is a good deal, and you know, what you would consider as like starting being like a high price, right? So going back to this, I would like to say that the important thing to consider is price is important, right? It's important for everyone. The offerings have leveled up. That goes for QA, but that goes also, this like is an old slide, but that goes also for software development, also for code development if you're looking for code developing your thing. So the quality can be there even at cheaper price. So then people ask me, okay, so how do I need to, so how do I choose? How do I make, well, I think you need to make an informed choice. And it's not valid anymore, the good old method of, I reach out to 5 vendors, right? So let's say I need code development, or let's say I need QA. I reach out to 5 companies. And I ask them, I need this. I receive the proposal. I take the 5 proposals and say like, most expensive, cheapest out, and then I will just choose between them 3 based on, I don't know, whatever was like the selection process, but in general it's not that informed. What you need to do is you need to kind of like dig into what they're offering. You need to evaluate what you have in front of you, and you need to be able to consider. I have worked with companies that were expensive, and I recently even I discovered and I worked with for a small company in the heart of Europe. Let's say stick to that the price, so the rate per hour of QA they were offering, for example, was extremely low. They would be the ones that would be immediately removed from that selection. But I can tell you that they were able to do a good job. They were giving you like good QA, they were good testers, they were managed very well, but they were also working all remotely, and therefore they didn't have really that much of HR, they didn't have much finance, so they didn't have an office. So there you go, they could offer like as low as 10 euros an hour, for while other companies were talking about 17 euros an hour. So like almost half the price in the heart of Europe. So you need to really dig into what they offer you. They really need to understand what they're offering you and how do you do it. So I'm gonna give you like a few hints of what, of course, I don't have 3 hours to tell you everything I know and everything you should consider, but here it is, a couple of ideas, a couple of things that you should think of. Structures, for example, let's say still in the realm of QA, right? But that goes, once again, even the same can be for code development. It can be for localization. It can be for player support. If you need player support, that's something that you can analyze. I'm going to show you this, but picture it in whatever example you have. Player support also, there are leads, there are agents, there are mentors, so you can think about this in the same way, really specular, right, to the same that you have in mind. So, for example, team structures. The team structure are more or less the same for every company. However, the fact that we use the same, they use the same terminology, it doesn't mean that one specific role offers you the same that the others do. And this is, so why this is one of the most important, if not the most relevant thing that you need to learn. Because I give you 2 examples, like this real life example. So there is company A and company B, and they give you like the same type of offer, right? You inquire, they give you like the first proposal, you have it in front of you, and let's say you have like X amount of testers, let's say 5, and then they put also senior tester on top of it, and then they put like a QA lead, let's say, right? In that case, it's important to understand, okay, what does your senior tester do? What is the experience of the senior tester? Because like, what is the actual value that adds to a team of 5 testers, that senior tester? Is he just a glorified tester? He's just a good tester is a tester that can actually lead the team to a certain extent, to a certain confine. What are they actually doing? For example, in the last 3 years, I worked with 2 different companies. One of them, to become a senior tester, they were requiring 6 months of experience, more or less. So you're a tester, you do it for 6 months. Okay, you're a good tester, you become a senior tester, right? Another company that I work with, still this year, a senior tester had 3+ years of experience. That small thing makes a difference, right? Probably was also more expensive than from the previous company. So company B had it more expensive. But those 3 years of experience compared to the 6 months, 6 months still you know shit about it. So it's a small group, so I can almost have to say some shits and bullshit here and there, so I apologize. And that is an important thing, because like that tester, that senior tester, you can ask, okay, this senior tester is particularly good, much better than the other one. Maybe you can remove one of the testers and put the senior tester. The senior tester will help the lead. There you go, you immediately remove from the negotiation like one tester working for the next 2, 3, 6 months on your title. And that's not small, right? So that's the thing number one. And the same can go for lead. Same company A, company B I was referring before, the lead also was like 5 years plus, while on the other company was actually 2 years, which was like, the difference is huge. It really is, because working 5 years in QA or in code development also, you really know inside out what you really are doing. And you can theoretically replace a QA leads, potentially. If the team is small, if you want a team of 2 testers, if you need like 2 developers, programmers, then maybe if you have one of those seniors, maybe you don't need a lead even. If the team is small, why do I need a senior and then I need a lead? And then why do I need to pay for all that? That's why I'm saying this is very important. Also, consider just sticking to the testers or technicians or the entry job, the entry type of job, right? Ask them this. What's the split or percentage of fresh blood versus experienced testers or versus experienced programmers, right? It's the same thing. It's important, it's radically important to know how much people they give you fresh out of the street. In QA, it's incredibly important, because QA testers can have 1 year experience or can have like 7 days. They just pass, out of the, see that someone knows what, knows the pain of that. So, and maybe you need 10 testers, and then 8 of them are just people randomly out of the street, and 2 are actually good ones. You don't know, you want to know it. When you know that data, that information, then you can make an informed decision on which one to go for, right? So maybe the more expensive one that you were thinking about removing, then you can actually think, oh, wait a second, but they actually give me like more experienced tester. The difference, the value for that additional price, the additional cost, it's there. So, right? But next, I said next. Yeah, there you go. And still, this also goes with the same that we were saying before, right? The experience of these seniors or senior programmers. How many projects? You can ask this question. That's, when I do it for my clients, that's one of the important things. What is their experience? How many projects? Do you have experience in the project, in the same genre that I'm working on? Because if they need to develop my game, I want them to have already experience. Otherwise, it's gonna be, problematic, right? And then also communication. Who communicates with my team? So talking about a developer. I'm a developer, and I say, who's gonna communicate with me? How often? How many reports do I get, for example? Do I get a daily report? Do I get a weekly report? Do I get 2 reports per day? So, and let's say this, there is no pointer right here. No, there is no pointer. Yeah, whatever. So if you know who is talking to you and how much reported there is, then it's also something that you can decide to decline. For example, okay, you send me, I just need 2 weeks of testing, right? Instead of sending me 1 report per day, maybe you can send me 1 report per week, and then a proper one and post-mortem at the end. And then the QA lead that was on my project for 4 hours can actually have it only for 1 hour instead of the 4 hours if he's not doing it. You see, these are the small things that no one thinks of, but they are very important. You can do all this. You can ask for it, right? If they're interested in working with you, they will consider it, and they will consider changing those. this is something that, another thing that no one thinks about, how easy it is to make a case study. You ask for a case study to service provider X. You ask him, okay, give me like a couple of case studies of what you're talking about. It's too easy. It's too easy for them. Because you just put some mumbo jumbo there, and you just say, yeah, Project X, this big developer from United States, asked us to test their game for 3 months, and they were a very tight schedule. We did it on time, project launch, it was successful. How much is that you're really, because you found bugs? Like, yes, maybe a little, but to put together a case study, what I want to say is just too easy. So, this is what we need to ask them. What, you do mistakes, right? So when is the last time you did it? So ask for negative case studies. That's what it is, negative case study. Ask them, when is the last time you made a mistake? What was the mistake? How did you fix it? How do you actually think that this is not happening anymore, right? So if you ask literally for something negative, first of all, you know you have the certainty of something that may reverberate with your experience. Okay, I know exactly this thing, they had it, they fixed it, and it's not going to happen. So you actually know something tangible that is not going to happen. And you say, okay, that's good. But if I ask for a positive case study, oh, you did good testing. Good job, brother. Or you did like, you know. So important is also you test their honesty. Are they honest enough? I know, for example, in the Nordics especially, they care a lot about honesty, about being fair. And that's one thing, for example, that I love about cooperating with Finnish companies. They're very fair. They're very also like direct, but they're fair, right? They want to know what you're doing wrong. They give you always like a second chance if you do something wrong. And that's beautiful, right? And I actually learned it from them. I was just like try to be direct and ask for something that might be not very comfortable, but very valuable for me. And then, what are you good at? And here it's another important thing. If you ask them, what are you better at than your competitors? So who are your competitors? Do you know your competitors? Means like you actually investigate, like you actually know how the industry is going, who are your competitors, what do they do better than you? Ideally, I would say that's very hard. It's a very hard question, but you can even ask, do you know what they do worse than you? But I would rather stick to, you know what you do better than others, right? And then also you can really see, once again, if it's a little bit of mumbo jumbo, or if they really know, listen, we have, also like first-hand experience, I was working for a company, whenever they were asking me this, I knew, listen, I know we're a little bit more expensive, but I can tell it's the same company that had the senior tester with big experience, and they were more expensive. I said, I know we're more expensive. But the quality of the team management that you get and the quality of communication that you get, it's much higher. If you value your mental health and not going back and forth and understand, talking to everyone, if you value that, well, then you can spend a little extra buck and going back to your kids at 6 p.m. and just and be like a normal and kind person rather than being aggravated by the situation that they can come. So. Negative case studies and USPs, in my opinion, this is something that you can, that it doesn't have a direct impact on costs, but has a direct impact on the quality that you perceive, and then also you probably receive, because at least you know exactly who you're going to work with, right? Do you mind if I? Still staying on the topic of mental health, contracts. Sorry. If you think about that, so that does not have an impact on money, on the final money, but on your mental health, a lot. Trust me. Like, it was February this year. There was a company from the Nordic, again from Sweden, and I was trying to start working with them. And at some point, they come to me. I was actually in Stockholm, in their office, and they go like, listen, we like you as a person, and your company seems alright, we would like to work with you, but if you don't fix this problem with the contracts, like dot, right? Like we need to interrupt, or we won't gonna cooperate with you. What was the problem? The problem was that our team, legal team, was in Los Angeles, actually still is in Los Angeles. What that means is, so the reason why I'm saying this is just like, consider where the legal team is, right? This is point one, then I have other points, but consider where the legal team is. It's located in the same area, in the same region, in the same place where you are, because that's very important. But if they are, so the thing was like that. So the moment to talk about the NDA, we had a problem with the NDA, we had a problem with the MSA, we had the problem with the localization. They had also the localization contract itself, the SOW. They had to change it like a couple of times. Every single time they were asking us for something about this contract. We don't like the liability. I think it was something about the liability clause, right? So, they want, they were asking for too much. So they were asking question number one to me. This is Monday. Let's say Monday. You ask me, Pietro, we want to change this. Okay, so I send your question to the legal team. The legal team wakes up when we finish working. If assuming, and they were never doing it, they were never tackling that thing on the same day. But let's say on the same day, they give you an answer, you will get it the next morning, right? So that was never happening. I didn't even know why I say like because they were never doing it. Legal teams, they don't answer immediately. So I was getting the next day, and then I was taking that information, passing it to Yoni, for example, and Yoni said, oh, okay, no, we still don't agree. And that thing was repeating. And there were cases where like just two questions, a small little clause turned out in a 1 week, or actually longer. I'm being like very, very generous saying 1 week. Just to change the liability clause, right? And that was for every single time they had something to change. And when they needed to change the localization contract, it was the same, because the localization, you get this that you say, okay, I'm gonna have 15,000 words in my game, and I need to translate it in 12 languages, the most common 12 languages, or 20, or whatever. And then getting closer to the moment, so you sign the contract, boom, 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 done. They're getting closer to the day where the localization was supposed to commence. Then they, actually realize we have like 200 words more. Change the contract back again. Like, okay, the same thing. Hey, we need to change it, send it back. They need to agree. So while this doesn't have a direct impact on costs, this is something you should really think like if you're thinking about working with any company in the future in the next 6 months, please think about it. The yo-yo symbol is the yo-yo is when you need to back and forth changing the contract back and forth sometimes, and you need someone flexible. I work, for example, for other companies that were super flexible. They're saying, yeah, whatever, we sign it. NDA, yeah, okay, we sign it. And MSA, yeah, okay, we sign it. And in my opinion, especially for the NDAs was the thing that was triggering me the most, because the NDA just basically, if I'm a service provider, what are the real information that I'm sharing with you that you shouldn't really not disclose with anyone? Pricing, like no one knows it, like come on. So I think the correct approach is like being flexible, but think about it. Got like this last point. Sorry. Yeah, because before I was singing, so that was you missed the singing.
I missed the singing.
Yeah, you missed the singing. You sing it my way.
I heard lost the best part.
Yeah, you lost the best part. Culture. Then, very important also this one in general when you need to hire people in your company. You need to hire someone, you want these people to stick with you, not to come from the project and then leave you, right? That's it, So you want people to commit to your culture, principles, values. When you hire an external vendor, then is that so important as when you hire internally? I have two different answers that are gonna clash with each other, but I'm gonna explain why. And I would say, no, I don't think you should pay too much attention to the cultural clash. But what you need to pay attention is like the price of incomprehension Like, what is it for you? How much do you value comprehension? Because then, while I would say, don't focus too much on this thing about the culture that they need to match our culture, but then there are cultural clashes that are really not fitting with each other, right? So there are companies. So let's say I have a lot of experience with Finland. Finland, they're in a certain way. They're straight. Like there are certain other cultures where they always say yes, or they never say no, and you never get along with the definition of what's going to be delivered, when it's going to be delivered, and then the pricing comprehension is exactly there. If you get with this company, they will always tell you, are you delivering them by the end of the week? Yes, absolutely, we're going to do it, and then the week ends, they don't deliver. Your launch, soft launch, global launch, whatever stage you are, it can be compromised. So mindful of the time, the point of this one is just think about not too much, but still keep it in mind, because if you go on the other side of the world, the different companies, different cultures, they may create a clash that then is gonna impact your game. And that's, yeah, I'm so great. Thanks for that. If you want to, that a magic partner will do it for you in a professional way. We have all these aces up our sleeves. So if you want to, that's still the old email. But anyway, yeah, you got the point, and don't forget to watch my podcast. My name is Mario. Anyway, yeah, I think we have we don't have anything, right? Like if you have questions, but
So since the other speaker's still not here, maybe we can take this opportunity to have questions.
Was
if
it
there are any
good?
questions?
If you have questions, you have questions. So,
Yeah, please go ahead. Do you need the mic?
No, it's okay.
Yeah,
I'll
sure.
raise my voice.
Okay.
I've got a lot of voice when I
She's
speak.
good. She's good.
You mentioned something about contracts and the internationality of them and the issues between different countries. So I've worked internationally with contracts and it gets very confusing. But there is one thing that we forget because of a lot of issues, which is international law when it comes to contracts. How does that apply in this case, for example? Because it doesn't apply with every country, but there is a way for any countries, two different countries with completely different policies and whatnot and legal systems. They do work internationally, but how are we going to filter those and be able to have these countries actually working together and not lose ample amount of time because, hey, someone likes to argue about contracts because it says law of Delaware or law of LA
Oh my
instead
God.
of...
Yeah, you got the point. Well, so for that one specifically, I think that these are like two different things, the contracts and the culture. Right? So here are two different things. When it comes to the culture, so the point that you're tackling
It's
is
contracts,
absolutely
not
valid. But it's more about the technical, the legalities, and that actually adds another layer of income. So what you actually said, it kind of merged the two slides, right? It's very intelligent in the sense that then is an extra layer of possible comprehension. I understand you, you don't understand me, and also there is also the difference the way you communicate things, right? I mean, I can say I'm Italian and I live in Poland. And I see someone is already understanding where I'm going. And I can tell you it's not always easy communication, right? Like for example, I discovered after 17 years, well actually after 14, 15 years, I discovered that their way of writing in English, so when they write in English, they write the same way they write in Polish, which is very insulting almost, because the way they write in Polish, they say, for example, please the contract, or please send the contract. But in a way that is very student, it's like, whoa, they just say, proszę o contract, please send me the contract. But it's in general, when you write in business email, like in Europe, in the sense, you need to, hey, nice to meet you, or hey, please, yes, I read your thing, thank you very much, could you send me, please? And it's just like, please this. It's like, whoa, it's like, dude, tone it down, not your breath. But then you understand that, and this is only from two companies that are in the same, so two companies, yes, two people, exactly, nationality in the same region. Imagine when you talk, Sweden and Taiwan, for example. I think that all the sort of things there, that kind of complicates things even more. And dealing with that that's also why I would say not exclusively, but think about who you talk to, right? Nice. Yeah? Yeah?
That's good, yeah.
We're done? Yeah?
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
So thank you very much, Pietro, for the very valuable